Hi, soccer fans, and welcome back to the M2 review. A new season is afoot as we get ready to kick off season number 8 in Major Arena Soccer League 2, and lots of exciting things happening this off season, but maybe none more so than an M3 team that is going to make the jump to M2 in 2024-25, and that would be the very popular Salisbury Steaks. And we are joined by the owner of the steaks, Josh Danza. So, Josh, first of all, congratulations on a great M3 season. It was kind of a phenomena, if you will, the Salisbury Steaks. You had a contest to name the team online. I think you had over 4,000 votes, and Salisbury Steaks was kind of the overwhelming favorite. I don't know if it started out as a joke, but people really loved it. Tell us how the whole Steaks moniker came to be.
Yeah, no, first, thanks, Brian. The Salisbury Steaks were a highlight last year for me, and I'm involved in many different soccer and futsal projects, but the Steaks were a little bit special where we had a name the team contest last year, and the commissioner of M3, M2, Chris Economides, made a joke when we first announced we were going to have a team and have a name the team contest, and he just jokingly said, "If it were up to me, I'd name the team the Salisbury Steaks." And when we had our name the team, we the first week we accepted different potential names. We took 7 and then kept that one in there as number 8 just to be fun with it. And the fans spoke and they chose the Salisbury Steaks, and we had like an elimination bracket style vote each round. And the final round, we were like, all right, like, let's make sure we don't just have a bunch of internet trolls name our team and no one want to come and support it. So we wanted to actually have some people put some skin in the game to see it wasn't just anyone could vote. You'd have to either, order T-shirts, season tickets, so that way it's not just one person online goes and does all these votes. And it was between the Salisbury Strikers and the Salisbury Steaks, and not a single person bought a Salisbury Strikers T-shirt. Everything all led to the Steaks, and it ended up working out though. It was, you see in minor league sports, a lot of people don't necessarily, outside of this little bubble of people that I'm around all the time that love the sport, love indoor soccer, love everything with arena soccer. We get stuck in this little bubble sometimes and don't realize that a lot of people who aren't in the know, like, aren't really very interested. But, I think you have to make minor league sports fun. And people want to come out for more than just soccer. They want it to be an event. I think a lot of M1 teams make it an awesome event and draw in different fans from different areas. So we were hoping to kind of draw that kind of model too, to make it fun team name, fun environment, and end up working out last year. And, we were able to be on TV, local television station for our games. And just things progressed a lot faster than expected. And I'd say a lot of it is contributed to the name. So I guess listening to the fans is a good thing.
That's a great story. When did you know you really had something special? I mean, you sold out all 6 of your home games. As you said, you had your games broadcast live on the regional sports network, Delmarva Sports Network. I mean, it was a remarkable success story in so many ways. When did you kind of know you had something special going on there?
Yeah, I think from the very first conversation I had with the facility at Crown Sports Center, with the general manager at the time, and then also just the owners of the facility, just having their buy-in from the beginning was great, because that's really hard to find. In order to be successful, you need to make sure the facility's on board as well. So I knew it was different then, but I think once we finally named the team the Salisbury Steaks and we saw the reaction online, the love and hate as well towards the project, it was something that was just polarizing and something we knew would attract eyeballs. So with that, we knew pretty early on, once we finalized that name, that it was going to be awesome. But I think the eye-opening moment was, our first few home games and seeing the people in the local community coming out to support us, the work of the players that they're putting in behind the scenes. It's a big cooperative effort to make that happen. But there's a big supporting cast of people that are helping out significantly, from Crown Sports Center to Adam Manning, our general manager, coaches Johnny Palatar and Dave Burnell Clark. It's just a really the pieces kind of fell in place, and it's worked out really well. And I'm really excited for this new challenge as we move on here to M2.
Should point out, Josh is no stranger to the sport, or both off and on the field. We're looking at some action up in Baltimore last year, M3 action between the Steaks and the Baltimore Kings. And I don't know, if you look close, you might see Josh, because Josh is the owner of the Kings and has suited up and played for the Kings for the last several seasons in M3. So you're not, you weren't starting from scratch by any stretch in Salisbury in that sense.
Right. No. And actually last year I'd said, whenever the Kings play the Steaks, I won't play. So you'll
right.
probably
So
see me and have me in the
won't
stands
see you, right?
somewhere. But yeah, no, I wanted to draw some similar experiences that I had with the Baltimore Kings, some of the other soccer projects that we've run in the past. And luckily, some of that history and things that worked for the Kings helped Salisbury, but at the same time, there were things that we were never able to do in Baltimore and still can't do. But that's the local community in Salisbury just instantly just ate it up and wanted to be a part of. So, it's something where, I want to make sure that we're always moving forward in what we're doing and learning from our mistakes, given it's a minor league level. We don't have the high operating budgets. A lot of these teams at the MASL 3 level, it was from year one, it was their first year operating a team, and just seeing what the requirements looked like. And, now that we're doing MASL 2, we know that not only is the level higher, but also the ownership has more experience in general throughout the league of operating high level teams. Some obviously M1 teams have teams in M2 as well. So I'm going into it too, looking to learn, because I don't have it all figured out and never will. But I think some of the best things that we've done, we've pulled from other people. You see, obviously, the love and the fan support in M1 or even in outdoor soccer in the United States, and you start to notice patterns of what works and what doesn't work. So, hopefully this year we continue to learn new things and ways to promote the sport and soccer in Salisbury.
So let's talk about that move to M2 and some of the challenges that you'll be facing. Obviously, just overall level of play, quality of play, talent pool, if you will, going to be a big part of what the transition is going to look like, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is the level of play. The player pool that we had last year, when you start up a team and you mention that you're going to bring a team to an area, sometimes there's players that don't necessarily buy in right away because they want to kind of see the product first. And as we continued to grow last year throughout the season, more and more players started to reach out, and some, to be honest, got to a point where I was like, we kind of have our guys right now. We'll hold tryouts next year. So, with that, we're going to have to look at all different avenues to put a competitive team on the field. We want to win. We want to do well. We want to showcase soccer in the area in Salisbury, the Maryland Eastern Shore, Delaware, but then also be able to pull from maybe some other MASL 3 teams, some of their top guys that want to play at the next level, that have that desire to be on a bigger stage. So, that's definitely something that we want to continue to improve on. And, I'm definitely a perfectionist in a lot of ways. And when I see things that we can improve on, I want to improve on it. So I think with the biggest thing being the player pool. And the second thing is just, now we'll be traveling a little bit further to games, some games in New York and Connecticut as well. So not only do the players have to be better in terms of the talent, but then also, players that want to travel, that want and invest in the team, because at the minor league level, there has to be a love of the game in order to play. It's not, you're not making the big bucks playing
Right.
at a high level here. It's the guys that love it, and they have to take off work to go travel to some of these games, or make sacrifices in their family life, or just schedule around our season. So sometimes that's hard. You might have players that are a decent level, but not necessarily have guys that want to travel. And sometimes you'll see that through all different leagues, is the travel roster versus the home roster looks a little different. And that's not what I want. I want it to be a core committed group of guys that are at the home and away games. And that's, I'd say, since I started the Kings 9 years ago, that's been a consistent thing that we had to work throughout the early years, was finding guys that were committed and wanted to play on a consistent basis. You can get together any group of guys for a weekend for a tournament to go play, but for a league, and for a league that, you start training in September and you end in April, and it's not a major league, you have to make some sacrifices along the way. So finding those guys is important. And we've already started that process in starting to contact some guys that we know, but then also we'll hold tryouts, and it's open to anyone that want to come out, and hopefully we're able to find some guys in that route too.
Yeah, and the best way for players that might be tuned in to keep abreast of that is to monitor the Stakes social pages. I'm sure all that information will be announced in due time. You mentioned some of the teams you'll be playing. One of the teams will be the Baltimore Arsenal, who will be in their second team, M2. They are the official affiliate of the Baltimore Blast, which, of course, has a tremendous history and reputation in the area. And you guys have worked with them through the Kings, at least. And so you have to be excited about seeing that opportunity and that relationship grow even further.
Yeah. I mean, knowing also that, Utica has an M2 team as well, getting to play in those bigger stadiums, a lot of the guys, that's attractive to them. And, obviously, in the MASL, in the top division, there's some really competitive teams throughout the country. And throughout the season, you see a lot of lower level, like guys that didn't start off on the M1 roster, maybe from an M2 roster or even M3, work their way up to play M1. So, that's kind of a goal as well, as to showcase these players. And you never know, maybe one of the teams that play in M1 are interested in them and they're able to make that jump. So yeah, this is a platform as well to showcase our guys. And I think it's something that is needed for the sport to continue to grow. A lot of the people, as I mentioned before, that do this is because they love the sport and they love being around it, whether it be from a player perspective or a coaching perspective, but also the fans too. So it gives them something to look forward to, and follow some of these guys that have been playing here now for a year. We'll bring a decent amount of them back this year, and some familiar faces will be able to hopefully be able to continue to move on to the next level.
Yeah, well, it's no coincidence, I don't think, that of all the cities across the USA, the first one to have teams at all three levels of the MASL pyramid now is Baltimore, with its tremendous history with, of course, the Blast at M1 and the Arsenal now at M2 and the Kings at M3, and now the Salisbury Steaks are going to join the fray for playing for the pride of Maryland, I guess we should say, in M2 starting this fall, and it'll be a lot of fun. And it's all really due to the fact there's some really great people involved in indoor soccer and have been through the decades in Baltimore. And Josh, you are certainly one of them. We thank you so much for your time today. Can't wait to see how things turn out for the Stakes this year. Keep it sizzling and go have a lot of fun as well.
Thanks. Looking forward to it. And thanks for having me on.
Josh Danza, the owner of the Salisbury Steaks, moving up to Major Arena Soccer League 2 for the 2024-25 season. That'll do it for this edition of the M2 Review. We'll be back with a new show soon, so stay tuned. Until then, have a great week, everybody.